Kgalema Motlanthe has been appointed to lead engagements aimed at building a united structure in the province. To discuss this further, we're joined by Sello Dithebe, a former ANC Free State PEC member. Sello, very good morning. Thank you for speaking to us. It is clear the ANC in the Free State is not singing from the same hymn book.
Well, we are singing from the same hymn book. If you look, for example, at the decision of the National Working Committee, which in terms of Rule 7 of the ANC Constitution is one of the structures, and between meetings of the National Executive Committee is the body that manages the affairs of the organization. So any and every member of the ANC will tell you that leadership is collective, it's elected, it's democratic, but there's also something called democratic centralism, which means that the decisions of higher structures are binding on lower structures. So in this regard, we take cue from the National Working Committee's instruction that this matter be dealt with politically, and we are happy that that process has indeed begun, as you've already told the viewers, that former Deputy President of the ANC, Comrade Kgalema Motlanthe, is indeed assist with this matter, and we are happy to that extent. But whosoever that seeks to deviate from that clearly will be violating the constitution of the ANC insofar as management of discipline is concerned. And so that's where we are at the moment. So I think members of the ANC are at the dam. We all are at one, that we take cue from the instruction of the National Working Committee in this regard.
Well, obviously that court case or the appeal to the courts suggests that there was no disagreement, and as far as that is concerned.
I beg your pardon, could you repeat that?
Maybe let me rephrase my question rather and say that there appears to be some form of a factionalism, certainly that case now being withdrawn from the courts. Your comments on that?
Well, we have had sight of the letter that was written by the former Provincial Secretary Paseka Nompondo. Without going into detail, we agree with that sentiment, because that indeed is our understanding that the national officials have themselves interacted with this matter and have since presented it before the NWC. So as far as that is concerned, you may be aware that there is something called Rule 30, which speaks about contractual liability, and that rule is very clear that nobody may, on behalf of the ANC, enter into any contractual arrangements unless given such mandate or power of attorney by the officials. So in this regard, the statement or the existence of the statement of the National Working Committee deals with that part. So in other words, no individual or official or any other member of the NEC or NWC can, out of their own volition, go away or deviate from that particular statement, because the NWC has not issued any statement contrary to what it issued last week sometime.
So give us a narrative of the landscape at the moment regards possible factionalism. We do know that all factions had agreed initially to an out-of-court settlement, if you will, to discuss the matter at hand.
Yeah, look, you know, the word factionalism is used or bandied about from time to time. I can tell you that there's a lot of goodwill on the part of multitudes of members of the African National Congress who understand that the ANC has yet to achieve its historic mission. These are members who understand that in order for them to be to qualify to be members of the ANC, they don't simply have to wear ANC garb, black, green, and gold, and sing songs or struggle, etc. At the moment, yes, there will be differences of opinion about this or that matter. There have indeed been incidents where members did not see eye to eye on a number of issues, but we are on course to heal the wounds, as it were. As a matter of fact, we are in our different parts of the province discussing NGC discussion documents, one of which is a review of Through the Eye of the Needle. And that document is very clear that the ANC has been infiltrated by a corrupt, rogue element, and that the ANC needs to make a swift U-turn. And we are committed to doing just that. So the word factionalism may be used, but I can tell you that whatever point of view of a particular member of the ANC at any given time, there is what we call the value system of the ANC, the principles of the ANC. And these we have imbibed over the years. And those that may not as yet be in a position where they understand what those values are. The ANC has set up the OR Tambo School of Leadership to ensure that they do so. But of course, we understand that we will need to champion that from the vantage point of leadership at various levels, in particular in higher structures of leadership. So yes, people can talk about factionalism, and we don't want to be psychotic and pretend that there aren't any challenges or problems, but we are on course to ensure that the ANC is indeed renewed in the Free State.
Excellent. So let's call them rogue elements, as you've stated. We have rogue elements certainly in the party. We have former President Kgalema Motlanthe, who's now been tasked to find a political solution to the situation. Take us through what work he is likely to do and challenge, if any, he will face.
Well, I certainly would not want to be presumptuous. That is the province of the former Deputy President of the ANC. And whatever it is that he is doing, to the extent that it must be kept confidential, I am prepared as a disciplined member of the ANC to respect that. I will comment only to the extent that it is public knowledge that as per the communication of the NWC, that he's been seized with that task, I beg your pardon, in order to bring all these members of the ANC together. And there has indeed, in the last 2 weeks or so, been a great deal of goodwill, recognition on the part of those that were in the disbanded Provincial Executive Committee that we have to come together, more so that we are, facing local government elections sometime on the 27th of October, birthday of Comrade OR Tambo. I think it was quite a good thing that the president, even if it's accidental, that he decided on that, but I don't think it was accidental. So we are committed to ensuring that the ANC wins. And so Comrade Kgalema, as a respected leader of ours, himself having served 2 terms as Secretary General and indeed former Deputy President, has an immense knowledge of the inner workings of the ANC, and I think respected by many. So we will indeed take leadership from him, his guidance, and indeed he will report to the structures that have entrusted him to carry out that mission.
There are obviously differences between the two parties that you speak of. Can you enunciate some of these differences?
Which parties?
Well, you've talked about rogue elements that obviously will have to be...
Oh, okay. All right. Well, obviously, rogue elements will be found not only in the Free State, but insofar as the ANC is concerned. Corrupt elements will be found not only in the Free State, but also in other provinces. But members of the ANC, cadres of the ANC across the board, are married, if you like, to the values of the ANC. And to the extent that they are able to make a difference, and there's a lot that is happening to ensure that we all restore the ANC, we re-engineer it, we renew it. And so the difference between a genuine cadre of the ANC is what President Tambo would describe as a cadre that has the requisite courage and dedication to carry out the objectives of the ANC, these being non-sexism, non-racialism, etc. So that would not be a rogue element, but a rogue element would be somebody that seeks to weaken the ANC and hollow it out while indeed pretending to be a genuine member of the ANC. But as it is often said, by their actions ye shall know them. And so the genuine members of the ANC leadership collectives will be able to recognize that member who is not willing to learn to abide by whatever has been handed down to us by generations of leadership since the birth of the ANC.
Now, the president of the country and also ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa will be in the Free State on Tuesday, we understand. What sort of reception can he expect?
Look, the president has been here before, and it was a resounding success. Members of the ANC, without expecting any pay or anything, volunteered to make that particular Freedom Day celebration a success. So I am quite certain that they will do so this time around. Well, there might be one rogue element that might want to do one thing or the other to, obstruct these proceedings or preparations, etc. We are saying that members of the ANC, supporters of the ANC, and remember, we are strong to the extent that we do not rely only on the support of members of the ANC, but the general populace. So members of the public, I have no doubt whatsoever that they will be there to support the president because this is their freedom. It is, by the way, another opportunity for members of the public to hear from the president how far we've come, particularly in this environment of COVID-19, this pandemic, that the president needs to assure and reassure the nation so that, we are not divested of hope. So that Freedom Day celebration will be yet another such. And I'm quite certain that if there's anybody that breaks the law enforcement agencies will deal with that. But most importantly, the political work must be done by members of the ANC interacting with communities, drawing to their attention all the gains that have been made since 1994 to date.
Cyril, thank you so much for your time. That was Sello Dithebe, former ANC Free State PEC member, painting a picture of a unified ANC in the Free State.